America's infrastructure was built during a golden age, that economic boom post-World War II. Now, more than 7 decades later, that critical infrastructure is reaching the end of its life cycle. In fact, this year's infrastructure report card from the ASCE gave the US's infrastructure a C-, and the effects of that are staggering. Every 2 minutes, there's a water main break, and the country loses about 9,000 swimming pools worth of water daily. So it's time to fix the backbone of our nation. I'm Daniel Litwin, the voice of B2B, and on this episode of Made in America, we're going to be talking to one manufacturer that's helping fuel a new era of infrastructure in our country, and powering this new era of technology using thermoplastic pipe to replace the metallic pipes that are currently coming up short. McElroy Manufacturing has been serving our country and its community since 1954, including introducing the first self-propelled tracked plastic pipe fusion machine in the world in 1997. Since then, the company has continued to grow into a global leader in fin tube and plastic pipe fusion, building on a history of innovation and hard work. Now, with U.S. infrastructure lagging behind, it's setting its sights on how it can help bring our nation's backbone back to life. Chip McElroy, thank you so much for inviting us into your production facility. I'm really excited to learn more about the history of your company and the history of your product line. Let's start big picture here. Can you tell us the space we're in and what it is that we're surrounded by today?
Well, Daniel, we're delighted to have you and your team here today, and look forward to showing you all that McElroy is today. This company was founded by our parents, Art and Penny McElroy, and it was started in their garage. So we're literally standing in what would be the third home of McElroy, but really the place where McElroy put its roots in the ground and has grown.
Wow.
Today we're still using this facility, and growing up in this business as a kid, I've seen this plant expand probably no less than about 6 or 7 times. The first product line that really built the business were our fin tube machines.
Right.
These are machines that put typically an aluminum fin on a steel tube for air-cooled heat exchangers. We estimate that about 80% of the tubes finned in the world are finned on a McElroy fin tube machine. Truly global reach. That product line built the company from about 1964 through the late 70s. Still a very viable product line today. But where we're standing this morning is in the middle of what we call our mid-range fusion machine assembly area. So the tracked vehicles and the rolling vehicles are assembled to my right. We assemble the top works, or what we refer to as the pit bull, further down the building here. And these are machines that do up to 8-inch, up to 12-inch, and up to 18-inch pipe. And so this is one of about 5 production lines that we have spread across the 3 campuses here at McElroy today.
Though McElroy's products are made right here in America, their impact is felt around the globe. In fact, the company has even taken its revolutionary products down under, helping lay parallel pipe that fixed a potentially catastrophic leak in Australia. But of course, it all begins right here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. So Jim, I know that fin tubes are McElroy's legacy. But what we're surrounded by today is the today and tomorrow McElroy, which is thermoplastic fusion products. So can you tell us a little bit about what makes these products so useful for the industries that you serve?
So I think one of the things that's really critical about this is that all of our equipment, whether it's our smallest equipment, the handheld sizes, up through our 2,000 millimeter Talon 2000, one operator can operate all of this equipment. So you can have a single operator do anything and do the complete fusion process, no matter what the size of the equipment is. One of the big differentiators for us is that you have the availability of the equipment on either a tracked machine or a rolling vehicle, and these carriages can be swapped out, or this carriage can be pulled off and go down into the ditch so that you don't have a vehicle that goes down into the ditch. All of those little pieces and the efficiencies and the quality aspects of what we do really are what set us apart out there and make it a much easier process for the operator. That user experience of being able to do this without a lot of effort.
Yeah.
And we're also very involved in the industry across the board. So standards in general, all around the globe, whether it's ISO, international standards, ASTM in the US, ASME, you can go on and on and on with all the 3 and 4 letter acronyms. But we're involved with those organizations, writing standards related to thermoplastic piping systems and the equipment itself. We're also involved very heavily with a lot of the organizations around the globe, whether it's the American Water Association, American Gas Association, international gas associations. So we are keeping our finger on the pulse of not only where the industry is going, but what the needs are. So that whole combination of where the industry is going, where the industry needs are, being hand in hand, shoulder to shoulder with our customers, really helps drive our design process forward and helps us really get to where we want to be.
Well, Jim, while we've got you here, just to ground all of these high-level approaches to your customers and to the industry, what I want to do is just bring up an example of one of the projects you've worked on that I think really captures these methodologies as well as your machines at work. So I've actually got an example of one piece of equipment over here that was critical in helping with this project. The project being work for TCF Bank Stadium. That is the football stadium for the University of Minnesota in Minneapolis.
Golden Gophers.
Oh, Golden Gophers, we love it. So hit us with some information on what we're looking at here and why equipment like this was so important for that project.
So let me start with saying this is what we call the Spider 125. This was a very first tool that the polypropylene pipe companies came to us and said, we need help in doing a specific type of fusion on polypropylene pipes called socket fusion. And this was designed from the ground up. The TCF project itself is actually a radiant heating system for the field. And so if you can imagine in Minnesota, an open turf field, it'd be nice to have at least some warmth so it's not completely cold.
Fair.
That stadium was actually used by the Minnesota Vikings in, I believe it was the 14 season, because the old stadium had fallen down and the new stadium wasn't complete.
Gotcha.
And Brett Favre in his last game tore up his shoulder hitting frozen ground.
Oof.
So there were 38 miles of polypropylene pipe that were put into that stadium, into the field, and over 4,000 joints were used with this tool right here.
4,000
joints
wow.
were made using this tool. And this was the first job that this tool was actually on, and it got them in under budget, under everything. So
and I mean, I'm not some buff monster here. I can lift this, I can interact with this. It's a very mobile and adaptable solution, which I imagine is very necessary for those kinds of work where you're getting in the ground and you're having to work on smaller pipes.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
And this is also, if I can take it from you just real quick, so this is also designed for those polypropylene systems to be able to go up into the air and be able to do that overhead. So that's why it's important that it's light.
Yeah.
And flexible and movable. In that particular case, that one was on the ground with the stadium,
Right.
but really the piping systems that this is very often used in are here inside the building, putting in and replacing piping here inside the building.
So, we've seen the impact McElroy's solutions can have, but how are they actually brought to life? Let's see how it all happens inside McElroy's Tulsa facility.
All right, Paul, so tell me a little bit about what process we see in action here. I mean, we've got a lot of moving pieces.
We do. Again, this is also one of our jaw manufacturing cells, but this is a little unique. It's a dedicated cell that's based on a lot of lean manufacturing principle. As you can see here, the operator has already set up a jaw and a fixture, and all he has to do is load in the machine, the door closes, and the CNC programming will start. So it's highly efficient. We can manufacture an entire set in one shift.
All right, so we've got another beast of a machine here. Tell us a little bit about what we're looking at and what process this solves for your machines.
Okay, so this is another one of our world-class CNC machines. The parts that you're looking at, we call them inserts. They're designed to fit inside the jaws for us to fuse smaller diameter pipe. But the interesting about this machine is that last year during COVID, we want to retain employees within McElroy. So we actually perform a contract machining service for aerospace company.
Oh, wow.
And we actually produce rocket panels, literally rocket panels.
Oh, incredible.
Soon to be launched, hopefully later this year or early next year. So we'll see whether or not we'll get more business from them.
In this case, it is rocket science, right?
Exactly right.
So I just want to highlight those and show our audience just how massive this really is. I mean, look at these machines. You are fitting huge pipes. I mean, I can almost fit my whole body in here. This is fantastic. Again, break down for us, Paul, the kind of use cases we see something of this size for.
I think a lot of the customer uses to convey, such as water and water application where they require large diameter piping.
Right.
Industrial mining, for example, requires a lot of water. So our customer will purchase one of these equipment and fuse joints to ensure essentially a leak-free piping system.
Beyond its fin tube and plastic pipe fusion solutions, McElroy is built on a foundation of community. It actively works in the Tulsa area to promote a healthy community environment, strengthen the economy, assist in educational efforts, and elevate the community via involvement with a wider range of organizations.
All right, Chip McElroy, great to be sitting down with you again. So the reason I wanted to chat with you a little bit more is because I wanted to expand the impact of McElroy. We've chatted already about how McElroy really makes sure to tap into the needs of its industries and stay one step ahead and fit those manufacturing and obviously critical infrastructure needs. But I'm curious, how do you see McElroy impacting the community around you, specifically in Tulsa, Oklahoma? Do you feel like you've had a powerful footprint here?
The McElroy family is 4 generations here in Tulsa, so our roots run exceptionally deep. It's a great city, it's a great state, it's a great place in America to be. If you look at our mission statement, we say we are dedicated to our customers, our people, and the community. And it really comes in that order. We need a strong community, basically for the 300 families that work here to be able to raise their kids. By the same token, we've got multi-generations working for McElroy, not just today, but throughout the years. And so we need those kids to come up and want to come to work for us.
And then looking forward, what are some of the goals McElroy has to continue to stay tapped into the community and build not only success for itself, but also for Tulsa?
We have been significant supporters of Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts, Big Brothers and Big Sisters, Community Food Bank of Northeastern Oklahoma, University of Tulsa, which a number of us are alumni of. Also, that university as a whole is a tremendous resource for us to get great talent. So there's a good give and take relationship there. But like I said, it's community, giving back to the community is a big part of who we have been. It's a big part of who we are, and it certainly is going to continue into the future.
Well, that's a wrap on another fantastic episode of Made in America. With partners like McElroy tackling our country's biggest infrastructure challenges and supporting their community while they're at it, we can work toward a stronger, more sustainable future for our country. I'm your host, Daniel Litwin, the voice of B2B, and we'll catch you on the next episode of Made in America, only on MarketScale.